Hello and welcome to this demonstration of Office App. My name is Ikenna Wiki. I am the head of sales for the UK and Ireland. And today I'm going to be taking you through a brief demonstration of some of the applications and features of Office App, as well as an introduction as to where we've come from and where we're headed. So welcome to Office App, the world's most advanced integrated tenant experience platform. Just as a snippet to give you a bit of our history. So back in 2014, we were formed. That was with the headquarters in Amsterdam. We won an accolade in terms of Dutch property PropTech company award in 2016. And then some bigger events that happened later on. In May of 2019, we got our first Series A funding of 4.3 million. That really injected some impetus behind the company. And I came on around December time to look after the UK and Ireland. Also expanded into the DACH region. We have an office over in Frankfurt, as well as maintained our headquarters, which has now grown. We've got a team of around about 30 people in total. We're looking at in Q4 later on this year. We're looking at Series B funding, where we're really looking to try and grow our geographical footprint. So that's a really good overview of where we've come from and where we're kind of headed. So I mentioned earlier on we're the world's most integrated platform. What is it we do in essence? What we do in essence is take standalone solutions, whether it's something on the internet over here or having to call your secretary to book lunch. We put it all into a unified SaaS solution and create a really good user experience around that. That means we've got really good tenant engagement and loyalty once we get into any particular account. The platform itself is extremely modular and scalable. What I mean from that is, you can start off with something like, as a lot of our clients have done, taking community, for example, and then adding on potentially events and adding on top of that things like access control, visitor pre-registration, visitor registration, and anything else within the world of, we call it IoT, the Internet of Things. So it really allows you to build out and scale out the platform according to your own usage and according to your own requirements. This is a great overview of where we've currently deployed. We're in over 12 different countries. And in terms of some of the logos we've obtained, there's a couple of other key logos we've obtained as well as part of that. One of the key contracts we've now secured being Blackstone, which is one of the largest landlords globally. So it really is a testament as to our solution and just how comfortable large companies like this are in partnering with us. In terms of, this is, I guess, a health check in terms of the business. We've got over 300 buildings where we've signed contracts with large organizations where we're still deploying out to. As I mentioned, we deployed in over 12 different countries. We've got over 52 integrated partners. To give you an idea, integrated partners are the likes of HID, Sensorberg, B-Grid. They're the actual hardware manufacturers. We're completely a SaaS company, completely agnostic of any hardware of any sorts. We integrate very well with all these different hardware partners. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we've now got offices in Amsterdam, which is our HQ, London, and also Frankfurt. So if we were to look at, I guess, if we were to take all these different integrated partners and put them in silos, I guess this is kind of like what it would look like from access control, sensoring, amenities, sustainability, for example, which is a key request from our core client base. And also coming from Davos at the beginning of the year, the movers and shakers of the property world, sustainability really is a key pillar. And we as a business really do want to push that and are actively looking to increase our offering within that particular silo. If you think about what we do in terms of once a client comes to us and we provide a solution for them and then implement it, this is in essence a project. And we've got some great software that we use, like things like Monday.com, Prince2 technology in terms of, or Prince2 theologies in terms of how we implement these types of projects. And this is a good timeline, just giving you an overview how that potentially would look in terms of your technical implementation phase, foundation, and then post-launch optimizing independence and then success and learning objectives and goals. So we really take each and every project and split it out into its basic constituents to make sure that we're hitting at every single point, and we're measuring and ensuring that we hit our KPIs that we sit down with the client and put together in the first case. And one of the things I will be showing you quickly as part of the solution is also we have an analytics suite in terms of a data suite that has, whether it's meeting rooms, community, building maintenance, or amenities and services. It really allows you to understand just how your building is being utilized and to take corrective actions according to the data that's there. So it's really informative and allows you to make the right steps based on the data that you're gathering. And this is a great slide that looks at, in essence, if you think about it, if you think about technology, I guess, I live it every day. And so it's part of my DNA, but I think where it really resonates is where it entwines with your everyday using experience. And this slide speaks volumes to that in terms of, think of it as an individual called Sarah who works for a large multi conglomerate, and she may be based in London, and she's going to Reading for a meeting for the day. So these are all the different things that you'll be able to do within the app, and I'll show you that as part of the demonstration. So from booking parking and checking availability, to wayfinding when you arrive there, and finding how to get to the actual parking bay, garage, to using access control in terms of getting into the building, to looking at the floor plan to see, because it's a new building, you've not been there before, to understand where you are and potentially where the hot desks are, where you want to sit down and actually have part of your day in terms of work delivery, to booking a meeting room and making sure the right equipment's there, to potentially using one of our more community-centric type of features, a lunch with me, where you would potentially just invite someone, maybe you pass someone in the corridor, a couple of conversations between you both, and you want to find that individual for lunch. You can use that to find the individual and invite them also for lunch. So it's a really good way of getting and making new friends with a new company in a fun and innovative way. And then moving on to catering, in terms of ordering catering for your meeting room, for your guests who are going to come. Potentially when you're in the meeting room itself, you see a maintenance issue and being able to report that on the fly, and moving across to things like registering when your guests arrive, being able to understand when they've arrived and bring them up into the meeting room, to potentially even changing things like the lighting by the actual app itself, as long as you're close enough to the meeting room. And then looking at real-time insights. And then the last thing is community, in terms of understanding what's going on later on in the evening, potentially, from a landlord that may be throwing on an event, or maybe the company as well. So all those different things we can look at, and I'll be taking this through as part of this. And you see the app there on the top left-hand corner in terms of Office app. You click on that, and it takes you into, in this case, we've got the demo environment, which we utilize to be able to show clients and prospective clients what we can do. Talking about it from top to bottom, I guess you've got the temperature, the weather at the top there. And this particular building's in Amsterdam, so it's able to give that feed. Then you've got transport. I'll click on that. And in this particular case, if it was in London, it would potentially show the TfL lines and so on and so forth. You are able to pull the top down. You can see the building. So in terms of visually identifying which building you're going to, having that particular picture would help individuals identify that, especially if you've got lots of different buildings within the app itself. And also, in terms of branding, you can put your own logo there. And going on to different levels of branding, you've got those blue circles there that can be in the company color, and also even the tile, which I logged in where you saw the Office app logo. You can actually have your own branded tile on App Store as well. So we've got different levels that should you want to do that. So coming further down, you've also got under facilities and services, you've got those 5 blue tiles you can see there, and they present themselves to you in by order of the best or the most used. So it really helps in terms of ease of use from left to right. And then further on, you've got upcoming events, and then underneath that as well, you've got community feeds coming from the RS. So jumping into it quickly. So one of the first things you might want to do is just to try and, looking at this overall, you can see all the different types of features we've got there. Yeah. So one of the first things you want to try and do, just booking a parking space. So simply logging in here, book parking space, select the time and date you wanted. If you want to change that, you can do it. You can choose the time in terms of an all-day session, or you can do an afternoon or morning. Let's just say it's just an afternoon session, and then book. And that is simply booked in, and that updates on your feed as well. You can see parking suddenly popped up on there too. The next thing in terms of using wayfinding, in terms of navigating to, and this particular, it could be to the parking bay. In this particular demo, it gives you within the actual building. And so you're the pink dot on the left, you select where you're trying to go to, and you simply, step by step, it's really intuitive and showing you step by step as you're navigating through the building, how to get to your destination. And this can be set up, whether it's at the office, it can be set up as if it's a feature that you wanted to use to help an individual identify a parking bay. So once in the building, oh, actually, you're not in the building quite yet. So the next step is to use access control. So using your phone, and again, using a mobile access. So whether it's iOS, which I've got on my iPhone, or an Android via an NF reader, you can use the actual the handset itself to swipe and to get into the building. And it could be that they give you access just for the day, and maybe just for the day from the first floor to the second floor. It really depends. And then once in the building, the next thing you want to try and do is to try and identify where you are. So this particular one, which is an integration of B-grid sensors, allows you to see, this potentially will be your floor plan, and we design it for you. And then you've got the toggle on the bottom left that switches between meeting rooms and hot desks. So Sarah, in this particular instance, wanted to work from a hot desk, and you can see straight away the ones that are in red are not available, the ones in blue are. Simply click on the one there. And using B-grid sensors, they give some reading, not only if it's available or not, either someone physically at the desk, but also gives you the temperature and humidity. So it allows you to choose, maybe you want something that's not direct sunlight facing, it's a bit cooler, and you can select it maybe at the bottom half of the floor plan. Yeah, and once you see that's available, you simply go there, sit down, and then that will pop up as red. We can change this if you wanted to, something more specific for you. This particular user case wanted this type of interaction. So now she's sitting down, she wants to book a meeting room. Again, toggling at the bottom left, you can see what meeting rooms are available and what's not. You can actually just then pick which one you want, select. It gives you all the different readings in terms of the temperature and whatnot. Again, select the time, make sure all the details there are correct. Click on next, call it your start meeting, just for want of a better purpose. Click on the visitor registration and also banqueting, because you want to be able to do that. Add new guest. Okay, and then save. So we've registered the guest. I've got an email just confirming that. Grab some lunch as well. A couple of juices, a couple of salads, let's just go in. Check that you're happy with the details and the price. We use Stripe as a payment method. And click on place order. Place order. And it's as simple as that. It's then updated. And again, coming back to the original front screen, you can see it's loaded up meeting room booking. So you've booked your meeting, you've ordered lunch, and you've also registered your guests, all in one easy step. So it's really simple and intuitive to utilize. Now, potentially, when you're in the meeting room and you notice that there's an issue in terms of a maintenance issue, you can actually, again, these things can be done via the platform. You can report the maintenance issue on the fly. Let me just take a picture of this. Okay, use photo. Now we've got proprietary AI software that is looking at that picture and is trying to understand what it is that you're trying to report, what needs to be fixed. And here it comes out with all these different, we let's say select keyboard's broken and needs to be fixed, locate which floor we're on the first, and just put some more detail around that, so cracked screen, and done, next. Super. That's all updated, and you've actually got that as part of your CMS background. We've got a CMS in the background with all these different issue reports go to, and you can simply just go through them and update them, and the user will get the feedback as well. And one of the last things I'll show you, and there's lots of features here, guys, so we just don't have the time to show everything. This is really just to give you an idea of what's what. But things like requesting a service. So you can have an online marketplace. So all the different restaurants or facilities that are around your building, things like, for example, car wash here, you can have featured onto the platform and allowing individuals to book themselves, in this particular case, checking availability of a car wash, seeing the times that are allotted after seeing the price, making sure you're happy with all of that, and you sent your request. Now, the service provider will then confirm back the booking at a later stage. Again, you get an email confirmation of that, and they'll arrive, wash your car, take payment, and you're good to go. And that's the same with any other book of services you've got in there as well in terms of request of service. Yeah, you can put as many as you want in there. So it really is a great way of bringing the outside in and increasing a lot of throughput onto the platform. One of the last things I will talk about is community, because it's the real backbone of what we do. And again, via the CMS background system, you can create all the different community groups you want. You can see we've got a number in here. And on the right-hand side, you simply tick or untick the ones you're interested in. And once you've selected the ones you are interested in, you simply come back out here, and it sorts itself in terms of the most, the latest information comes out on top, and you can see the different colors show you all the different groups. And when you've got a blue band on there, it means there's an action to be done. In this particular case, you've got a coupon that can be redeemed here. In this particular case, on an earlier demonstration, it's already utilized, but what we would normally have is, this is to get a free salad with your next pizza. You simply turn up to the particular establishment that's pushed this out onto your phone, click on coupon to redeem, and then you redeem it as when you're doing the purchase. It's pretty straightforward. And the same thing here, this is to do with office fund, and there's an event going on. Again, clicking on that, it's a Christmas drinks, it tells you the time of the day, it also tells you how many spots are left. So 3 people have already clicked, they're going, 97 spots left, and you can click yes or no in terms of should you want to actually go to that, and that will update in terms of your diary. So hopefully I've taken you guys through a real understanding of what it is that we do. There's a lot more features in terms of features that we can actually put together or develop, because every client's user experience is different, and that's where we really excel. So think of us as a really, when it comes to integrations, we are the best in the business. Whether it's something you've already got in-house in terms of as part of the infrastructure, in terms of you've got HID as part of that, that's not a problem. As long as we've got an API we can integrate to, or an SDK, we can write to that. And so it means you don't have to change any of your hardware should you not want to. If you're looking at a new build and looking at a great way of trying to accelerate your leasing program, as we've done with a couple of key developers, again, it's something that we can work with you and your agents. So when you've got your prospective clients coming through, you can demonstrate the app and show this is part of the offering when coming in. From a landlord perspective, we can wrap it up into the service charge that you charge to the client. You can put a markup on that in terms of making some type of margin. And I guess overall, in terms of feedback, what would be good is just to give you some final stats as to what we've got. So, an NPS score of 44 versus a benchmark of 26 is pretty outstanding. And 94% of people feel that Office App has improved their workplace engagement experience, while 75% feel improved productivity. And lastly, 87% felt that Office App provides a value experience that couldn't be replicated elsewhere. So hopefully I've piqued your interest, and today's presentation demonstration was just to give you a glimpse of some of the different features that we have already scoped out. But please, you've got my contact details here. Should you want to understand a lot more and take a real deep dive, please feel free to either contact me on my email address or call me directly. Thanks again, and I hope to speak to you soon.